Welcome to VTeach. In this topic, we'll discuss about class declaration. First of all, we'll discuss about what is class and what is the purpose of the class and what are the rules for writing a class. Since every program that we write in Java has to be written by using classes, first of all, we need to know what is a class. Class is a user-defined prototype. Prototype can be called as a model, means we are writing a model how it has to be and what it has to contain. What it has to contain is it is a collection of data members and member functions. Data members can be variables. We call here specifically the variables in Java as instance variables. Now the doubt is why we call variables in Java as instance variables. In Java, we can store multiple values in the variables at different instances by using objects, whereas in C or C++, once if a value is initialized to a variable, if we try to change in between the program execution, the first value will be lost and the second value will be saved into that variable. Whereas in Java, we can store multiple values to a variable at different instances. One value is referred by one instance and second value is referred by another instance. Both the value will be saved in the memory. If I want to refer to the first instance variable, we'll refer by using instance and then variable name. If I want to refer to second instance value, we'll use second instance dot variable name. We can print multiple values or we can work with different values of different instances. That's why we call variables in Java as instance variables but not normal variables. And coming to member functions, what is a member function? We call the set of instructions that are enclosed between the braces in C and C++ as functions. In the same way, we call them as methods in Java. So a class is a mixture or collection of data members and member functions. Data members are used to store the values and member functions which contain some set of instructions to perform a task or an operation. Now, as we had said that a class should be written for writing any program, there should be some keyword to write a class. The keyword is class keyword. If I want to declare a class, we require a keyword known as class. Class space class name is the syntax for writing a class. Now, before getting into the syntax for writing a class, we need to remember some rules for writing the classes. If you don't follow that rules, the compiler is going to generate some errors since it is not going to match with the rules that are defined by the compiler and the JVM. The first and foremost rule that we need to remember for writing a class name is it should start with an alphabet. First letter in the class name should be compulsory written with an alphabet. If you want to use a number, you can use after that alphabet, but we should not start with an number. It should compulsorily start with an alphabet. The next point is class name should contain only alphabets or numbers or underscore. It should not contain any special symbols in between the class name, or it should not contain any special symbols like hyphen, plus, greater than, less than. It should not have any special symbols. It should have only alphabets, numbers or underscore in between the class names. For example, some underscore numbers is a valid class name. You cannot give some space numbers. It is not valid. First one is valid. If you want to give some one, it is valid because you started with an alphabet, you have used a number after that alphabet. It's also acceptable. And some greater than is not acceptable because is greater than is a special symbol. Underscore can be used and alphabets can be used and numbers can be used in the class names. Next, class name should not match with predefined class names. What do you mean predefined? Pre means already. Defined means definition is already present. The classes whose definitions are already created and defined and present in the packages, we call packages in Java. We call header files in C or C++. There are some predefined classes which are already defined for performing some operations. Those classes are known as predefined class names. That class names cannot be used as your user defined class names. The third point we need to remember is The class name that you write for your class should not match with the predefined class names. You need to be careful while writing the class names by following these three rules. The first thing is class name should compulsorily start with an alphabet. You might be getting at why we need to start with an alphabet, because the class name that we give should match with the file name that we are going to save this class. We cannot save a file with a special symbol, or we cannot write it any other thing. That's why we should start with an alphabet. The second thing is you should not use any other special symbol other than underscore in between your class name. You can use alphabets, numbers, or underscore. Other than these three things, you should not use anything in your class name. The third thing is it should not match with any predefined class names, because if you use any predefined class names, you are trying to change the definition of the class, but you cannot try to change it, because if you try to use it, automatically the compiler during compilation itself it's going to generate an error because it's already mapped with the predefined class name. What is the syntax for declaring a class? Since in the previous topic we had discussed that class is a collection of data members and member functions, and we have a keyword class to declare a class name, the syntax for writing a class is class space class name. Class is a keyword which is used to declare classes. Next one is class name. The name that we are going to give to the class is known as a class name. The names that you give to the classes should be relevant to the work that the class is going to perform. For example, if you want to print a message to print some hello world or something, I'll just write a class name as message. If my program is to perform addition of two numbers, I can keep my class name as addition, or I can keep my class name as sum. Or if you want to write a program to find biggest of two numbers, you can keep your class name as biggest or big or large or something. It would be better to give your class name relevant to the work that class is going to perform. Next, type instance variable 1, type instance variable 2. Instance variables are the variables that are used to store values. What do you mean by this type is data type. We need to mention what type of value that instance variable is going to store in that variable. So that's why we need to write data type. Type can also be treated as data type, and then instance variable 1, and then data type instance variable 2, so on. Data type instance variable n. You can write number of instance variables. Whatever instance variables that you use in your program has to be declared before using them. By using these steps, we declare the instance variables, that are the data members that we are going to use in our program. Next things are about member functions. Whenever you want to write any definition of a function or a method in your program, you have to follow the syntax, that is return type space method name 1, the list of parameters and the body of the method. Here return type tells what type of value this method is going to return to the calling function. Method name is the name that we give to the method. Method name can be any name, and it should be relevant to the body of the method. And then parameter list. As we have just discussed, that method is a collection of instructions to perform a work. In order to perform a work, it might require some inputs. Let us take an example. I want to write a method to perform addition of two numbers. As I am saying that I am trying to add two numbers, I require the two numbers to perform a work. If the two numbers were not supplied, I cannot perform that work. Supplying those two numbers to the method is done in this parameters list. The parameters are the variable values that are required to perform a work in the body of the method. Body of the method is a collection of instructions to perform a work. It's a collection of instructions. That's why we enclose them between braces. In this way, you can write any number of methods according to your program. According to your requirement, you can write any number of methods, or even it is not mandatory that you can write methods in your program, or if you want to write only one method, you can write it. So in this way, you can write any number of methods. Type method name 1, type method name 2, type method name n. So class is a collection of data members and member functions or methods. All the variables that we use have to be declared by using these first steps, and the methods that we use have to be written with their definitions by using this syntax. Let us see a small example. How to write a class. Class box. Class is a keyword to write a class. My class name is box. I am declaring three instance variables: double width, double height, double depth. Double is a data type which tells width is going to store a double data type value, height will be a double value, depth will be a double value. This is just a simple class which contains only data members. It does not contain any member functions, or it does not contain any steps to perform any instructions or to perform a work. Next one is class modifiers. What do you mean by a modifier? Modifier can do any modifications on the classes or the variables. In Java, we have different types of modifiers. The first type is access modifiers. Next one is modifier requiring override, modifiers restricting to one instance, modifiers prohibiting value modification. By using all these modifiers, we can declare a class or the variables or the methods that are present inside a class. Now let us look into the first category of class modifiers, that is access modifiers. In Java, we have three types of access modifiers. First one is public, protected, private. First one is public. If a class is declared by using the keyword public, that class is visible to everyone, even it belongs to the same package or even it belongs to the other package. You might be getting it out. What is a package? Package is a collection of classes. So it can be visible to everyone in the same package, or it can be visible to others in other packages also, if we declare them as public. If I want my class to be visible to everyone, I will make it as a public. The next thing is protected. Protect means there will be some access restrictions to the class that we declare when we use protected. When we declare a class by using protected, what happens is that class can be used by all the classes in the same package. If I want to use this class in other package, it should compulsorily be a subclass of this protected class. Then only we can use the members or member functions of this protected class in other package. Otherwise, we cannot use the members of this protected class in other package. Next, coming to private. If a class is declared as private, it cannot be used in other classes, or the members of this class cannot be used by others. It cannot be used in other classes, or even it cannot be used in the same program also. For example, if we have two packages, package 1 and package 2. Here I am declaring a public, protected and private. So this public is visible in the package P1 as well as package P2. I can access them directly. Now coming to protected, if I want to access protected, I can use this entire package P1, and if I want to use this in package P2, I should write a class C2 which extends this protected class P1 or protected class. Then only I can use this protected class. Otherwise, I cannot use the members of this protected class in other package. Now coming to private, this private is going to provide high restrictions to our classes that we write. If a private is declared, it cannot be used even outside the class. Even it is in the same package also, we cannot use them. It should be used only within the class where it is declared. That's all. These three comes under access modifiers. Next, coming to modifier requiring override, we have a keyword known as abstract. When we want to write a class whose definition changes according to the requirement or based on the application, we write those classes as abstract. I'll say a small example. If there is a class known as shape, the different shapes that we know are rectangle, square, triangle. In all these three classes, we can calculate area. But the definition of this area method changes from one class to another class, or from one shape to another shape. The formula for calculating area of rectangle will be different with formula for calculating the area of a square, and it will be different with formula for calculating area of a triangle. So in this case, all these three are treated as shape. Now we are going to write this shape class as an abstract class which contains an abstract method. What do you mean abstract method is? It just contains return type and method name. It does not have method definition. According to the requirement, we can change the definition of this abstract method. Now we will declare this shape class as abstract class, and this rectangle class will be extending this shape class and write the definition of abstract method area. According to the requirement of rectangle class, it can write its own definition. In the same way, shape class will be extended by square class, and it's going to write the area method definition according to its requirement. In the same way, it's going to write the definition of area method in the triangle class according to its requirement. In this case, we are going to use a modifier known as abstract, where we just tell what is the method name and what is the return type. We don't tell what is the definition of that method. Next, modifier restricting to only one instance means we are going to use static. When we declare a class as static, or when we want to declare a variable as static, or when we declare an object as static, what happens is we will have only one instance. We will not have multiple instances. Now the doubt that might be arising is, if there is only one instance, how it will be defined by objects. Objects are used to store different instances, but static is used to store only single instance. Now what happens here is, when a class or when an object is stored as a static, all the objects will be referring to the same instance. The modifications done by one object can be observed by other object, and the other object modifications can be observed by the previous object, or vice versa is also possible. If we want to have only a single instance, or it has to be restricted to a single instance, we have to use the class modifier as static. Next, modifier prohibiting value modification is final. By default, we know the meaning of final as fixed, which cannot be changed. If I want to make my class definition as fixed, before that class name, make it as final. No one can change the definition of your class. If you want to fix a value of a variable, before the data type for writing that variable, just write final. If I want to make my method as final so that no one can modify that method, I will write final space return type space method name. So the syntaxes for writing access modifiers with class name is public class name. Public makes visible to everyone. Next, abstract class name, which provides overriding functionality if it is going to have abstract class. Final class name. The class definition will be fixed. It cannot be changed in the entire program. All the predefined classes will be declared using final. That's why we cannot use predefined class names as user defined class name. Thank you.